asking my questions. All right. Hi, how are you guys? One more day before the whole world gets to see Made in Heaven. 2 more days? One more day.
One more day.
One more day. 12 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. You better stay tuned. So, Ritesh, my first question's for you, actually. This is actually your third collaboration over here with Amazon. You've had the international nominated Inside Edge, and of course we've all seen Mirzapur as well. And what makes you keep going back to Amazon Prime Video? What makes them an exciting medium for you versus films and theatre?
Gosh, I think going back to Amazon, like we said, we started our first show with them, and it's been a good collaboration. I think sensibility-wise, in terms of the stories we want to tell, and which are coming out of XL Media, as well as when Zoya and Rima came up with Made in Heaven. I think it's the sensibilities which match, and it's a great platform. They put us into 200 countries. I don't think with our features we could have reached there. You have an opportunity of getting into mainstream homes in US, in UK, and various other countries again. So I think it's growing the market, it's sharing talent. So on a lot of avenues, I think it's very different to films. You know, like films theatrically have a certain limitation where we can exploit it because there's a huge challenge with P&A. Whereas I think what Amazon as a platform has provided is getting our stories into every possible home. So I think it is good.
It's easy, it's accessible. It's something I watch on all my long flights, by the way. It's so much better than watching in-flight entertainment now. Zoya, my next question's for you. And just coming out of Gully Boy, which was so, gritty and on the streets. And now your next one, I know you didn't simultaneously shoot them. I'm not really sure about that. But the next one that is coming from you is all about weddings and, just creating another completely different world for audiences. So what has that experience been like for you? And why weddings?
I actually shot the 2 episodes that I've directed for Made in Heaven before I went into Gully Boy. So it was shot and banked. Yeah, I mean, I'm a storyteller. I want to tell stories of all kinds of people from all kinds of worlds. And to me, it is their emotional journey, their conflicts, what they achieve, what they overcome as characters, and the humanity of the people, and the rest is beyond a point backdrop. I mean, as a filmmaker, and it's a visual medium, so you get as authentic as you can with it, but that's what it is. The story is about people at the end of the day. Yeah, it's been amazing. And why weddings? Because, I mean, this country is kind of obsessed with them. I have friends in the business, and I keep hearing this, the behind-the-scenes stories of it, and as sacred the union is, and as beautiful that day is, there is a certain amount of theater that goes along with it, the show, the drama, the costumes, the tears, the family, the characters. So, I mean, it just lends itself to a series. It was just waiting to happen.
Rima, could I ask you the next one? Made in Heaven, what does that really mean for you? Like when you put the title together? Because I have a sneaky feeling based on what Zoya just said, that what goes on behind the scenes is nowhere close to heaven.
Yeah, I mean, that was part of the allure of the subject of weddings. Like she's saying, it's a stage for a lot of theater, Apart from that, apart from what it is, obviously, it was a way for me to get into, the social reality of our country, to get into certain things like patriarchy, stigmatization of the LGBT community. There was a range of things that we knew that we were going to explore this through the series, which was very alluring.
All right. So we have 2 of our directors over here, and I think now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for also us to invite the showrunner as well as another of our directors of Made in Heaven. So please put your hands together. you coming together and working? I'm sure it actually was a match made in heaven for y'all as directors.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Ooh, tell me more. Yeah, but I'm guessing, you know, for four of y'all to kind of come together, like-minded women, bringing in your thoughts, what was that experience like for you?
It was quite incredible, actually. You know, it's, I think that, I've done a film before, and I can say that it can get quite lonely. And I think a series, especially this series, lent itself very well to a collaboration. So for me to collaborate initially, these three writers was incredible because somewhere I feel like we sit on the same side of the fence. We're very different in many ways as filmmakers, but in terms of our politics, in terms of what I think, mostly we are on the same page. So I think it's incredible to kind of collaborate with like-minded people. And for me, as a showrunner, it's interesting because I think the only thing that, like the secret recipe, like you said, for this is trust. So I think we, initially when we all came on board, I think the minute we decided that we're going to collaborate, I think the trust was there, and after that, we also wanted to give everybody wings to fly. And so, yeah, it was great fun.
So it's all about giving everyone that creative space and yet at the same time trying to be on the same page.
Yes, and we also had another director, Prashant Nair, who's not with us.
Right.
He's in Spain. And I think the other amazing thing about collaborating with is that, Prashant is, I think lives in Spain. I have to confirm that. Rima's from Assam, Zoya's very much from Bombay, Alankrita's from Delhi, I'm from Punjab, and for us, and especially doing this wedding show, we brought a lot of different backgrounds onto the table, and I love that.
Yeah, because also weddings in India are so different as when you go from one culture to the other, and yet they still have that common theme of, you know, being big, being grand, and family.
Yeah, you're 26 states, 26 languages, and those many cuisines.
Right.
So obviously wedding planners are going to do really well in this country.
Definitely. Alankrita, I have a question for you. Coming on board as a writer as well and a director for the series, when you first heard the outline and the crux of the entire show, what were your thoughts and what made you say, I gotta write this baby?
I think, to be honest, I think the first thing the first reason that I was really, really excited about coming on board for Made in Heaven is that I was very happy to be working with Zoya and Rima, and I think I really have always admired their work, and I thought it'd be fantastic, to work with them, and I thought I was quite selfish. I thought I'll grow a lot, if I work with them, and that we shall discuss later. And so yeah, I think I was really looking forward to collaborating with them, and I loved the idea because I felt that the idea really lent itself to developing many, many characters, and I did feel like we had the potential to make it a very layered show and fun at the same time. So I think, yeah, and I think weddings are fun, and so I think it was like a no-brainer for me.
It looked like Zoya wanted to add something. No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we all love a good wedding, and we all especially love a big, fat Indian wedding. So I think the moment has come, the moment of truth, as we all like to. character in Made in Heaven.
Yeah.
And I know that you are playing a homosexual character. And in Indian cinema, unfortunately, now not recently, so I can see Zoya already raising her eyebrows and looking at me. I didn't write the questions. No, I'm just joking. In Indian cinema, not very recently, but in the past, we've had these very caricaturish, images and the way that sometimes a homosexual character has been fleshed out. And what I have seen of the promo, you play the character in a completely different way. Like no one would look at it and then just say, oh, ye to, he's a gay person. You know, that's stereotypical way that people think.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that portrayal.
I mean, it's like this, right? I can't look at this room and know just by looking at them how many people here are, So we never intended to put any of that across through performance, or I never approached it as like, this is a homosexual character. It was just a character. And I don't know, I can't say much about the mistakes that cinema has been making in their portrayal.
No, we don't need you to get into that.
Yeah, but like, I hope that we've done justice, Yeah.
Was it fun? Weddings day in and day out, talking about it, breathing about it, and from a male perspective?
Personally, no, not for me. I hate big weddings. But and organizing them particularly isn't fun. And also while shooting the weddings, especially, we were reduced to background action, basically. So, the weddings were the worst part for me to shoot.
Hey, I know he answered it really well, but you reduced an extremely complicated character with many motivations and many interesting things to just his sexuality, which I personally disagree with. So I personally disagree with the question right off the bat.
Actually, Jim, there was this big argument and there was this big conversation about this one question before we got onto stage. And
you asked it first.
I know. And the character is very complex. And we did not want that to come out in the press conference. And we did not want to kind of reveal that and get into it. There was a 20-minute, chat about that. So they also wanted to leave something for the audiences to savor at 12 o'clock today when the show does launch. And for them to discover the complexities of the character for themselves. So that was the only reason that it happened. Shobita, can I ask you the next question? Working on, you've acted in films and now also a digital series as well. And the show has like a runtime of over 8 hours. And that's pretty much like 3 movies put into one. So what were the highlights of the show for you? What made you say, yes, I want to come on board?
I auditioned for the part, and any actor, we aspire to work with storytellers who stay authentic to the world that they're creating, who are honest with their emotions. Zoya, Nitya, and then Alankrita, Prashant Nair, who's not here with us today. These are all filmmakers whose work I had watched and really admired for a long time. So when I auditioned for the part, I knew that I'm testing for something that I know is going to be made very well. And then when I read the script, actually Arjun and I had done our look test together. We were really excited about having been chosen for our parts. And during the course of the shoot, actually, I don't think there was much of a difference like, hey, I'm shooting for a web series or I'm shooting for a film, because as an actor, your job is pretty much the same. You emote and so I really enjoyed the process, and there wasn't much of a distinction for me in terms of acting or approaching the character.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, as your questions also come to your mind, we will be then opening the floor for the press over here as well. Kalki, I'd like to ask you a question. Working with 4 directors on one show, I mean, you all are still the common factor that stays throughout on the floor. What was that experience like for you? Was it something just extremely unique? I'm sure it was amazing.
It was confusing. I remember there was one day when I had to work with all 4 of them, I think. There was lots of scenes from different episodes being shot on the same day. And they all have a very clear style of their own. You know, I think Zoya, I've worked with many times. She's got a very clear idea of her beats and what she wants out of the scene. Nitya, I think, kind of lets you do what you want and then pulls you back when you do too much. Alankrita has some very clear visual elements that she likes, and I think she likes to catch all of it. And Prashant basically is like, if you want to like get rid of all these lines, just get rid of them. It doesn't matter. Just feel the scene, you know. So they really have very, very different styles of working, and it was great. It was fun. It was also difficult. I think my character was also quite intense, and especially the therapy scenes were quite intense. But yeah, I'm glad I was part of it.
Give us a little sneak peek about the character. We obviously don't want you to give too much away, but just a little sneak peek for everyone that's watching right now.
Faiza is allegedly Tara's best friend. She is from a very rich background in Delhi. She's recently divorced and kind of in a rather vulnerable, tumultuous situation in her present love life.
All right. We can see all the characters shaping up over here. And as we said, 8th of March, ladies and gentlemen. Jim, do you have a mic? Yes, you do.
Yep.
So just following up on the same question about working with 4 directors. And I'm sure this was the first for you, right? Because when you're doing a film, it's just one director and that you're working with. How was that experience for you?
Well, it was really difficult playing a heterosexual male, you know, so that was the first big challenge.
You're never gonna forgive me for that one.
That was the first big challenge that I had to overcome.
Like you sit and work on your characters, you really worked on this one?
I had to really think about that and what the cultural significance will be here and whether people will accept it. I just didn't know, you know. It was fun. It was fun working with all 4 of them. I liked having different styles to interact with. You then, because after a while you kind of get your character, you kind of understand where he is, what he's doing, how he ticks, and then it becomes interesting to have that bump up against different people with different visions, with their own ideas of what he's like. And you know, I do feel that I barely know how I will react in all situations, and sometimes I surprise myself. So it's always interesting to have 4 different perspectives that give you 4 different possibilities to surprise yourself as a character. So I really enjoyed working with all of them, and you know, cool, yeah.
And you played that heterosexual man so well, I'm sure.
Well.
Jim, can you pass the mic on?
Yes.
Thank you. So Shashank, from what I've understood, the character that you play is almost like a narrator, voice of God kind of feel?
Voice of God.
That's what's written, no?
I'm far from the voice of
No?
God. I'm just a cameraman of this wedding planning company, and
Okay.
I get a chance to see absolutely everything that happens. And yes, I'm narrating the show, but I feel.
But you're narrating the show.
Well, I mean, there is lots more narration to it as well.
Yeah.
I think he's a neutral observer.
Tell us about the character.
So Kabir is a boy from Delhi, much like me, and he's just an observer of you know, this dichotomy, this impoverished country and this rich society which is trying to get married, and so he's observing everything, and that's Kabir. He's voicing the conflict which is apparent for the audience.
Could you pass the mic on, please? Thank you. Shivani.
Yes.
Can you tell everyone a little bit about the character that you're playing as well? Because from what I believe, you almost have like an outside perspective. You're watching this world in front of you, and you're seeing it, and then I don't know if you're giving your perspective or not, but can you tell everyone a little bit about the character that you play?
No, Jazz, I don't think so that she can have she's just observing things. She's very new to this kind of a world.
Yeah.
And she's trying to fit in. Like right now, she's trying very hard to fit in. So perspective, though, which will come much later. But definitely, she's somebody who has an opinion on everything, whether she knows it or no. But she definitely has an opinion, and she was a character I could just felt for her immediately. I could felt her role, and yeah, she has got that spunk. So I think that's all I would like to reveal right now.
All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen from the media, if any of you do have a question for our cast as well as the creators of the series, would be wonderful if you could. Thank you, sir. So polite of you. Thank you. Can we, is there a mic that could go around over there for him? And please do introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jigar. Congratulations to the entire cast, and looks really nice. My question is to Ritesh, firstly. As a layman, I just want to know how do you decide what could become a film and what can become a series? Because now you have got 2 platforms and you can practically show the same story because the audience understands the content on a 70mm and on a second screen. But how do you decide what can become a film and what can become a web series?
400 pages versus 100. That's what makes. But no, actually, I mean, in terms of when you read a script, I mean, in terms of when you're reading something, you know when it's being pitched to you as a story and you're seeing these characters which not necessarily are ending in a particular time and you want to see more of them. So those characters literally grow on to you and it goes on into more. So I think basis of the pitch itself, you know that this lends itself more easily into a format which is longer, which can go in as an original series vis-a-vis a script, you know. So I think it's basically the writing which determines what kind of a platform it goes on to, you know, and the story.
Thank you.
Ritesh, this is the 3rd series with Amazon. So what brings you back to them again and again?
Again and again. Like I said, it's like we did our first collaboration with them, and I wouldn't have even imagined going to the Emmys. So I think they took us there, and they're great partners to collaborate with. The sensibilities are similar. So I think the more shows we do, we'll obviously we prefer working with them, and hopefully they'll continue supporting us with our vision.
Sorry, just before we go to the next question, could I please ask Jennifer, James, Vijay, Aparna, could you also please come and join us on the stage? Because I'm sure we'll have some
Maybe also ask them why they're supporting us. You know, that'll be interesting.
I believe you had a question, right? Yeah.
Hi, this is Sana from Indian Express. What was the thought behind having 4 directors to direct the series?
Well, we needed more than one director in any case. Reema and me created the show. We got Alankrita and Nitya on. They were the first 2 people that came on. Nitya came on as showrunner and director, and Alankrita was the writer. And we always knew that between us, we're going to direct at least 2 episodes each. Amazon turned out to be very lucky for us. The minute we signed the show, Reema and both our films got greenlit. So we planned to stay here. And Reema left to do Gold, and that's when Prashant came on. The thing is, when you have a show of this scale, it makes sense to have multiple directors because you want to do it each episode as well. Each episode, the backdrop changes, the wedding, the family. So every show has casting, locations, costumes, designs, and you want each episode to have the same kind of focus and its own identity. And for that, you need that time. And it just made sense to divide the work as opposed to have one person stretch it and not deliver.
And my next question is to James. Hi. So web is said to be not a star-driven medium, but you have Akshay Kumar, Abhishek
Ma'am,
Bachchan.
actually, could you stand? He can't see you. It would really help us. Thank
Hi,
you.
James.
Yeah.
So web is said to be a no star-driven media, but right now you have Abhishek Bachchan, you announced Akshay Kumar and Priyanka also, you are in talks with it. How important are Bollywood stars in a global market for Amazon?
Well, I'll say I was reminiscing with Zoya and Rima a moment ago. You know, when they came in and they pitched this show, it was almost 3 years ago now. You know, we don't start with the star. You start with the creative, and you know, they had this great pitch, this great vision for the show, and you know, we were so lucky to wind up with the cast we have. You know, after they wrote it all, and we talked about who they should bring in, so we really couldn't be more happy with how it all ended up.
Hi, my name is Sohail. My question is to you, Ritesh or Zoya or Kalki, anyone could talk on this.
No, but go ahead, please. Yeah, before you even started.
We move according to time. एक वक्त था जब बड़े पर्दे पे हम फिल्में देखते थे. At that time we used to say, please come to theaters. When they were piracy, small screens से आप दूर रहिए. अभी एक वक्त आ गया है जहाँ पर we are coming back to small screen, we are promoting it. Do you feel so as a filmmaker, हमारी जो creativity होती है, it is थोड़ा बहुत वहाँ we killing ourselves, and maybe in future the films are also getting, diminished actually?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think they are very different mediums. I think, and they have very different experiences. I'm a storyteller. I have certain ideas that will fit a short film, and they can't be stretched. I have certain ideas that can make features, and I have certain ideas that need a long format. They're very different personal experiences. I go to a cinema, it's a collective community experience. I'm in a dark room, there's a larger than life screen. But I watch a lot of digital content, and for me that's like a visual book. I go home, it's my time, it's personal to me, I open it, I dip into it. Nothing can interchange those experiences. Absolutely not. And stories lend itself, like Made in Heaven would not make as good a film as it has a series, if I have to say so myself. I don't think it would have made as good a film because of the kind of topics we touched on, the kind of time we have to develop the characters, the nuances we can show, the depth and layer of the society that we live in, that we can delve into. This would not have happened in a movie. So they're interchangeable. I mean, they're not interchangeable at all.
Kalki, you could also say something, or Ritesh. My thing was like, pehle it was a big screen, now it's a small screen.
It wasn't pehle, film is not dead, it's still the big screen. The same thing happened when TV came. I remember in India, everybody was like, oh, cinema is dead, we have satellite television. Nothing happened. Then we started getting home video, and everybody was like, no one's gonna go. We have like home screens and surround sound. Who's gonna go to the theater? Everyone's going. Now we have this, and everyone's still going to the theater. It's not was, it still exists.
Yeah, Ritesh and Kalki.
I'd like to add, I don't think in any way shows diminish feature films the way you're saying. In fact, I think that what happens is, like with a platform like Amazon, the audience is exposed to global shows. They're exposed to shows that are coming out from different parts of the world, different subjects, different content, and that I think helps in improving your own palette.
If I may add, that was also a time when you were not carrying a screen in your pocket that you were consuming media on, which is the case now. And inviting you back to the small screen does not mean anybody's promoting privacy, which you mentioned. You have to pay for the subscription. So,
yeah, Kalki, what happens?
I think actually that the increase of content, if anything, is going to increase competition. And if anything, it's kind of, the social media and then the platforms like Amazon and the other one that cannot be named right now, those platforms allow for a lot more choice in content, which then means that film has to up its game as well, which can only be healthy in terms of the kind of content that we could receive in films. I feel it's a great thing. And of course, as actors, as creative people, as musicians, writers, all of that, there's an amount of work that's increased, allowing us to continue to live our lives happily.
Do we have another question? Yeah.
Hi, this is Swagata from Best Media Info. So my question is for Jennifer. We hear that OTT platforms are increasing, there is a boom. But if we go by the reports, it also says that they are losing huge chunk of money when it comes to piracy, especially the streamlining piracy. So how are you planning to tackle those challenges?
Piracy is an ongoing issue for every platform, whether it be traditional media or streaming. As long as technology continues to grow, there will always be some version of that. So that's sort of a necessary, challenge that we all have to live with. what we focus on is, just providing the very best in content to our customers. And we're lucky to be part of a bigger company where we're a part of an equation of what Prime subscriptions, can provide. So Prime Video is an asset to Prime subscription. So we're looking to not only enhance Prime subscribership, but also drive it. And so our success and our financial models are defined in different ways, and so you'll only see the company, though, investing more in global content. So we feel good about where we are.
Zoya ji,
Yes.
film making is expensive or web series making is more expensive?
Depends on the subject, sir.
Yeah, hello. On your left side, Zoya, on your left side. Questions for all the director here. Oh, yeah. Just on movie.
Hello. Oh, yeah. Hi.
Hi. Big Indian fat wedding, and that too happening in Delhi with a lot of watch. We saw the promo, and how difficult or how excited was there for all the directors when you were shooting the series? Excited or difficult was it? Because it's a hodgepodge Indian wedding, and that too Delhi wedding. So how was it?
Yeah. Nitya, I think you should answer this.
It was, I think you're absolutely right. I won't use the word hodgepodge, but you're absolutely right, because I was sitting on set one day and I realized that everyone thinks that action is really difficult. But when you're doing wedding after wedding, I think I'd put it at the same level as action, because just in terms of sheer hair, makeup, wardrobe, and the number of people that you need to make a wedding look authentic, plus the design, it's crazy. And Delhi, you're right, but the only thing that I will say about Delhi is that all the background artists that came, because they knew it's a wedding, for the first time I saw background artists in Delhi act properly, because they just let themselves go. They believed like they were the Baratis, they danced and ate like the Baratis, so that was the good thing about shooting in Delhi, actually.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, my name is Hemant Oya, freelance, especially for Zoya. Made in heaven, what we saw on the screen, the little promo, nothing looks heavenly as such. So is it after effect of a marriage, or you are showing the chaos after the marriage and one gets into?
Sir, I'm going to have to break this to you. There is no heaven. The title is ironical, and because we come from a belief where we always say marriages are made in heaven, so we've used it as it's irony. And this is about the wedding. It's a behind-the-scenes look at weddings, not necessarily at marriages. And of course, our lead characters and their personal lives are juxtaposed with this as a backdrop, and then each wedding story affects the personal lives and vice versa. So it is there, but it's about weddings. It's a thing on weddings and not that much on marriages.
Hi, this is Tarushi from Peeping Moon. So there's this one thing I want to ask. It's about weddings, and there are so many different people collaborating on it. Everyone has different views on marriages, how it works, how it should be in every function. So different people coming together, there might be some clashes about the opinions, this should not be there. Maybe this scene should not be there. So how did you infuse everything together and come up with this one series?
When you collaborate, of course people are coming from different backgrounds with different ideas. But I think it's very important, especially for a space like this, is that whoever's on your creative side, whether it's the writer, the showrunner, the producers, the platform, the value system is the same. The politics is the same, and what you want to put out there, what you glorify, what you put a mirror to, what you hold up to, those things are the same. And I think when you have that, the big things are taken care of, because I mean, there's nobody here that's going to be, who's going to stand up and say, no, I think, dowry is fine. No one's going to do that. So those are the big challenges. If once you have collaborators that look at things the same way as you do, the rest is easy peasy.
Yeah, there's also a few people at the back over there who have been like struggling for the mic as well.
Hi Jennifer, Abhishek here from network18in.com.
Hello.
My question is to you. Recently we saw you at the launch of the show where we saw Akshay Kumar. And we recently saw one picture of yours with Karan Johar. So can we see in future you to collaborate and come with something?
Oh, I really enjoyed meeting him. He was so much fun. We had the best time, so I look forward to talking to him more, and I hope to continue to collaborate with him.
Thank you.
Yeah, we already work with the folks at Dharma on all their feature films. You know, they all are on Amazon. You can watch today when you go home. So the partnership's already started. So yeah, we're looking to expand it as much as we can.
No, we'll let him ask. You finally got the mic, right? Finally.
Okay.
Come on,
Okay,
go for it.
कल्कि एंड जिम आपसे जरूर जानना चाहेंगे या सारे स्टार कास्ट मेरे सवालों का जवाब दे सकते हैं कि वो ऐसा कौन कौन सा काम है जिसे करने के बाद फीलिंग हेवन जैसी आती है कल्कि
कौन सा काम से ये फीलिंग आता है
हेवन वाली फीलिंग
मैं कभी हेवन में नहीं गई तो मुझे नहीं मालूम है वो फीलिंग क्या है
जिम आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे लाइक शूटिंग एड फिल्म ऐसे कुछ
All right, we'll go to the next question.
शशांक आप कुछ कहना चाहते
हेवनली फीलिंग आती है आई थिंक शिवानी को इसका बहुत अच्छे से आंसर
हाँ जी
पता है
शिवानी
तो
जी
आई थिंक जब हम शूट खत्म करके होटल रूम में सोने जाते हैं ना दैट्स द मोस्ट हेवनली फीलिंग एवर दैट्स इट
जोया जी आप मेरे सवालों का जवाब दे सकती हैं
हेवन
हाँ जी हेवन
nahi, I don't, I mean, there's no one feeling that's heaven, you know, it's, I mean, no. I can't do this.
I think she also, just a few minutes earlier, said that she believes that there is no heaven. So that would just say that for you.
Heaven?
A heavenly feeling is
The
there.
heavenly feeling is hanging with puppies. Heavenly feeling is chocolate cake. Heavenly feeling is not answering questions like this. Heavenly yeah, those kind of feelings.
Okay, we have time for just one question. Let's make it worth it, people.
Hello, Jennifer, Jim, hi. My name is Russell De Silva. I wanted to ask you all this question about, it has already been touched over a year, but I wanted to get your perspective. OTP versus the big screen experience. Recently we heard Christopher Nolan speaking against, he said none of my films will ever release on a web streaming platform. Spielberg has spoken against it and they said it's killing the big theater experience. It's not just a cinematic experience, it's the architectural experience of going and sitting in a, and they also feel that no movies releasing on an OTP platform should be nominated for awards because it's not releasing on the big screen. So what do you all have to say about this?
Yeah, this is obviously a big topic, lots of conversation around this. You know, for us at Amazon, we're lucky because we have a thriving movie business that includes a big theatrically released movie strategy. I just bought 5 movies in Sundance that will all be released theatrically. The windows vary on how long they'll be released, but they'll be full releases as well as more truncated releases, depending on what's the best strategy for the individual material. So we're happy to be able to provide a doorway toward theatrically released movies at the company, but alongside that we have a direct-to-service. Shh. Simmer down over there. Shut it. We have a direct-to-service strategy as well. So, you know, series, comedy, drama, documentaries, music documentaries, theatrically released movies, direct-to-service movies, and everything in between. So lucky to be at Amazon. So not as much of an issue for us, but certainly involved in the conversation.